This is a big crowd. I learned yesterday, I think we have almost 1,200 people here, and that is really blowing the record out. So thank you for being here. I will say that we're together at a time when major challenges are facing our industry and our nation. The government shutdown, new restrictions on H-1B visas, and most recently, a new policy from US DOT that could significantly impact engineering firms with DBE certifications and those that partner with them as well. We've been waist deep in these issues, and we're going to have to wade further in. We're going to hold a forum, better described as a working conversation, on Tuesday to address these issues. It's on your app. It'll be recorded and made available to attendees that aren't able to be there. So I want you to look for the session in the app. Near term, though, ACEC will work closely with DBE firms, our state organizations, and state DOT partners to develop recommendations for US DOT to help firms with recertification and to ease the transition as much as possible. We'll also continue to provide education, resources, and ongoing advocacy support as we move through these challenges to our industry together. You may have noticed that this year's programming of this event is really heavily tech-centric. It's all about technology, and that is what I want to focus on this morning. But, you know, I will say Washington is unpredictable. Maybe you figured that out. And these challenges that we're facing now, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, they are hugely disruptive, and each one of them for our industry could have, taken a year's worth of strategy to address. So this is kind of a triple threat, if you will. And I just ask you to work with us, to be patient. We will do everything that we can to help and to communicate, and again, to go through this with you together. So on to technology. Today happens to mark the 15th anniversary of the launch of Instagram. 15 years ago, Instagram took 2 months to reach 1 million users. ChatGPT did it in 5 days. In just 15 years, we have advanced from a platform that posts images online to one that can generate them on demand with uncanny accuracy and realism. And AI's capacity doubles every 7 months. So a moment in time is a lifetime in tech. This morning, I want to talk about what that means for the business of engineering. What we stand to gain if we get this right, what we stand to lose if we don't. For engineering, AI is reshaping the project design and delivery process. It's accelerating the pace of project completion, and it's redefining client expectations. We've been preaching for years now that engineering is essential, but in a tech-driven world, engineering and engineers are even more than that. Engineers are indispensable. We are the essential humanity in an otherwise mechanical series of calculations and formulas. We always need to remember that it takes people, it takes us to lead. Technology can't do that thing for us. Recently, when I was pondering this, as I've been known to do, I went down a rabbit hole in ChatGPT. So I asked, what if engineering firms fail due to technology taking over? Worst case scenario, right? What would that look like? The answer came back, if design engineering firms failed because technology replaced much of their role, it would be because the profession failed to claim its role in guiding, governing, and complementing technology. Truer words have never been spoken by a machine. And as I continued down that rabbit hole, ChatGPT spelled out 4 reasons that would have led to that potential future failure. The first reason was failure to adapt to technology by dismissing AI and automation as a fad instead of proactively adopting and shaping it. or because we didn't invest in digital literacy, even with our leaders. And finally, I'm sure this one is going to resonate with this audience, because we clung to traditional billing models of billable hours instead of tech-driven value pricing. The second reason was failure of leadership and vision by not setting out a roadmap for how to integrate technology, by not investing heavily in R&D, and allowing tech giants to dominate design generation, and by over-focusing on short-term profits at the expense of long-term innovation, lifting our heads up. The third reason was failure in professional positioning by not effectively defining engineers' human value. So that could happen if engineers allowed themselves to be seen as, say, drafters versus the strategic advisors that you are. Or by not advocating effectively for updated licensure laws that require human oversight of AI-generated work. And finally, the fourth reason was failure in client relationships, because we didn't pivot to higher value services like risk management, sustainability, resilience, and stakeholder communication. Or simply because we ignored client demand for innovation and got stuck in business as usual. So that's the list of what not to do, according to ChatGPT. And I took away from the response that it's clear engineering is higher order than technology. But I'd been struggling with how best to express that. So I went back to ChatGPT to pose that question. And I realized that at this point, you're probably wondering, why are we paying Linda to do this job when clearly ChatGPT is the brains behind the operation? And that's fair. But we're going to move on anyway. So I asked Chat, how is engineering superior to technology? That answer, in my mind anyway, was brilliant. The answer was this: technology is the what, and engineering is the why and the how well. Engineering endures. Engineering is principle-driven, while technology is tool-driven. And if AI is a tool, it needs to be guided. If we as an industry don't lean into the adoption of AI, if we don't learn it, if we don't shape it, and if we don't wield it with wisdom, then it will get away from us, and we risk losing out to competing industries, and in the end, we lose out to a machine, and we can't let that happen. So what must we do? Above all else, we must learn. As an industry and as leaders, we can't delegate understanding or outsource responsibility for that. We must engage AI deeply, each one of us, not just its capabilities, but its consequences. We are stewards of systems and solutions on which millions rely. Stewardship means asking not just what a system can do, but also asking what it should never do. And that stewardship isn't just technical, it's relational. It ensures that technology does not replace human judgment, but rather that it enhances it. There's every reason to welcome tools that multiply our reach and that free our minds for the higher work that we're meant for. But tools don't inherit responsibility. They can't bear the ethical weight of a bridge or a bypass. AI promises speed, precision, and scale. It can optimize design, predict failure, and transform how we build. But if we fail to integrate it wisely, we stand to lose more than just market share. We stand to lose relevance. We risk watching others set the standards that we should be defining. And perhaps most dangerously, we risk becoming passengers in a vehicle that we were meant to drive. And this is where leadership must rise. We can't treat AI adoption as a technical rollout. It must be baked into strategy. It's not just a tool, it's a talent transition. We must create space for growth in technology, not just in job titles, but in purpose. And above all, we must be honest. I keep coming back to this phrase, we gotta get this right. We recognize the importance of getting this right, but we also have to remember that getting this right has a price, and it must be paid. Cheap shortcuts will be paid for eventually and expensively by clients and by our own reputations. The measure of our innovation won't be how smart our systems become, but how wisely we guide them. And the task of guiding AI is moral as much as it's technical. It's always been a reflection of its creators. It carries not only our ingenuity, but also our intentions. It encodes our brilliance and our blind spots. And now, as AI begins to shape our economies, our democracies, and our daily lives, the moral weight of engineering has never been heavier. Engineers are no longer just designers. We are the ones who must ensure the efficiency doesn't eclipse empathy and that innovation doesn't outpace wisdom. We are not passengers in the transformation. We are the drivers. We are not tools of technology. We are its conscience. So let's lead with courage. Let's lead with confidence. And by doing so, engineers will rise because we were built for just this moment. Thank you all for being here.